Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, and this is a Vanderpump Rules recap from last night's reunion episode. And if you haven't watched already, just pause here and go back, take a couple days off, and rewatch 10 seasons for pure chaos. A friendship battle royale as LALA Kent bashes Sandoval. After listening to the reunion and hearing what he said under his breath, people are calling for him to apologize to her. We're going to get to what Instagram rant she made after watching last night's episode. Do me a solid if you haven't already. Hit the like button. It really tells YouTube that you're watching my content and will promote us in the Vanderpump Rules niche because, of course, nobody has been more into this Vanderpump Rules story in the last 2 months than I have, and I know you guys have been as well. Sorry, I'm late to the party. It's cool. I'm like the kid who didn't get the iPhone original and I only got it at iPhone 5. Okay, finally, I'm here at the iPhone 8. I'm here. I made it. So I'm going to break this down into two different videos. We've got LALA bashing Sandoval. Next video, we'll have Raquel Leviss blaming Ariana during her deceitful Tom Sandoval affair. We'll get to that whole storyline after. This is a completely separate beef that's going on. Here's LALA, and yeah, she should be pissed. As she said, the mama bear clause came out, and I'm going to play exactly what she said. Let's first listen to this clip that was put together by gossip_2_gossip on Instagram. It said, not only does Tom call LALA a narcissist, Tom also says to LALA that the only reason she took her IUD out, the only reason she had her daughter, was because she was jealous of Stassi being pregnant. Well, those aren't the exact words he used. Let's just listen to what went down, and then we'll hear what LALA has to say in return, because you have to remember, they filmed this like a month ago, right? But they don't hear everything. There's 10 people on stage talking at the same time. The camera will pick out who said what, and the audio will be adjusted in a way that can cover the very specifics. But yeah, over here we get to see Lala's response after we watch this.
Tells everybody what to do. She's a narcissist.
I may have an ego the size of this building. I ain't a narcissist.
Yeah, that's
you,
that has a lot to do with that.
It has nothing to do with it.
That does.
No, it doesn't. You moron.
You're a moron. Hold your IUD the day you found out Stassi was pregnant. Tells everybody what to do.
So to be fair, he says, pulled your IUD the day you found out Stassi was pregnant. Didn't say anything about jealousy of Stassi being pregnant, but of course, you can make that implication. And I'm not defending what he said either. I just think it's important to take, what he said, in the exact words, right? So, Tom calling LALA a narcissist and her saying she's not a narcissist. I've talked about this over and over. I don't know about anyone on the show. They could all be narcissists. I don't know if you need to watch 10 seasons or one or none at all. I have no idea. They're all in a reality show where they're rewarded for being crazy, essentially, right? They're rewarded for their chaos. But, it can cross a line. Now, the thing I'll say about Tom Sandoval saying that, it's one thing to snap back with a comment. He had that in his back pocket, and I guess that's what they do when they come into these reunions. They have it's almost like a weird Bravo form of a roast battle where they've got this sort of inner dialogue that's ready to shout out insults. You're stupid. No, you're stupid. You pulled this out when you blah blah blah. And it's like, you didn't just come up with that. You were ready to say that, which almost makes it worse. It's like premeditated. Here's what LALA had to say.
Tonight is the second time that I have seen Sandoval diminish the conception of my beautiful, magical daughter. I'm disgusted.
She a Harry Potter?
Makes me sit here and question who the fuck raised you. And how they must be sitting there going, do we really gotta claim this fucking guy?
Whoa.
Really? I am so glad that I did not hear that at the reunion. Because I'm telling you what, these mama bear paws would have mauled the fuck out of him. Sandoval, you better watch your fucking tongue.
Whoa.
When you talk about me, you keep my daughter out of your mouth.
It is very Will Smith. You keep my wife's name out your mouth. Look, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to, just no one asked me to sort of officiate this here or adjudicate it. But, Tom Sandoval didn't say anything about his daughter's name, but he did talk about her birthing process, removing her IUD. I can't believe an IUD made it. This is of all the things to be talking about after that reunion, I did not think it would be LALA's contraception techniques.
That's where I fucking draw the line. You can come for me all day long. You leave her out of this. That baby was brought into this world out of love, respect, and my relationship may have gone to shit, but that little girl is the best thing that ever fucking happened to me.
And by the way, this is where, again, I understand she's upset and she's got every point to be. But this is where you get mad at something that wasn't someone's point. Like if you could sit down and say, Tom, what do you mean when you say she pulled the IUD out? And then he would go, well, what I mean is she was jealous of her friend or whatever. It has nothing to do with Ocean, the daughter. But at the same time, it's still not good. It's just like let's keep the argument on track here about IUDs.
Dare you?
How dare you?
Tells everybody what to
All right, and then she shared that TikTok we just shared, and of course sharing a bunch of other memes. Let's see if we missed anything here. And then she said this: I want to quickly thank so many of you for the love and support you have shown me. You've rocked with me through so many phases of my life. Early 20s debauchery, the passing of my dad, getting sober, becoming a mama. The list goes on. You do not go unnoticed. I've said this before. You all have made my dreams come true. I am forever grateful.
Hi, the devil walked in.
All right, so then she shared some other memes. Loud. Just trying to see.
Protect Raquel at all costs.
Can I say something? The word bully.
I think I love LALA.
Okay. It's fucking Bravo. Yes. All right? We all signed up for it. Ain't nobody bullying anybody.
Bullying is not
We all signed up for it. Nobody's bullying anybody here, she says.
Please
thing.
fuck off. Mister, I
And then she says, please F off to Sandoval there. Send it to Daryl. All right, folks. Well, she said, now it's time to unwind. Yeah. First of all, how do you watch the show and then just go back to your reality? I would, if I were on that show, I would need to do like 7 jujitsu classes after. I'd have to go run a marathon to calm down because I'd be so enraged. Because, yeah, I mean, you essentially just have, does this picture not, tell 1,000 words here? You essentially have everybody versus Tom Sandoval. But then you've got all these factions like Sheena in her temporary restraining order or the TRO fire that Raquel had filed on her. Then you've got Sandoval and Ariana, of course, which, by the way, Ariana said, I'm not even going to look at him. By reunion part 2, they're just fighting eye to eye, they're going back, which I don't blame her, you know what I mean? And you get to see how toxic that relationship was. I'm not saying it was obvious. Like, obviously Sandoval cheated on Ariana, and we'll cover this more in the next video that I'm about to make, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't gotten that. But obviously he's the bad guy. But Ariana, and again, this is fresh. This reunion was fresh after the breakup, so there's a lot that needs to be said here. She in recent interviews has kind of been more poised, and I don't blame her whatsoever. But they're going at each other, and you're going, man, you'd hate to be in a car, stuck with them. You ever do one of those couples road trips? Oh boy, I haven't done one of these in years. I've quickly learned, my wife and I appreciate our alone time. But you ever do one of those couples road trips with a couple that just fights and you're like, oh my gosh, it makes you just want to squeeze your partner in the best way and say, never let go. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we're not toxic like that. I mean, my wife and I will have disagreements, right? But like, you learn how to process, you learn how to, a conversation is only good if you can speak in a way that your partner can absorb it. Otherwise, you're just doing this weird theater arts dance where you're getting your emotions out, but it's not being received. And obviously, Sandoval and Ariana are past the point of no return here, but the way that they communicate with each other, and maybe the Bravo soundstage makes it worse, but the way that they communicate with each other is nothing short of miraculous in the worst way possible. So in the next video, actually, let's cover this right now. Sheena Shea reached out to Tom Sandoval following Pump Rules backlash. Okay, so this doesn't quite merit its own video, but it's still interesting as we're covering a lot of these side stories that are going on. Like, look, you guys watched the reunion. I don't need to relitigate every little thing that happened. But what's very interesting is she mentioned on her podcast that she reached out to Tom Sandoval. She said, I did reach out, the Good as Gold singer admitted on her Shenanigans podcast with guest Brittany Cartwright and Jax. Sheena claimed she was worried about Tom following the sudden death of his close friend Ali Rafiq earlier in the month and sent him a couple of sympathetic texts. Despite the olive branch, she said he didn't respond to me. The second text didn't even deliver. I think he turned his phone off or he just blocked you after the first text, the guest said. So that's what's interesting, because we see Tom Sandoval really trying to plead his case to Sheena and say, we've been friends for 15 years. We can recover from this. And then Ariana interjects and says, you don't get to be friends with her, which of course is not Ariana's call. In the end, it's Sheena's call. But either way, very interesting stuff. I'd love to know what you guys think. If you want more content, I've got my behind the scenes Patreon here. Here's a photo that I posted on Patreon. I want you to guess who I did a podcast with here in Nashville. If you're a fan of The Bachelor, you probably know, it's probably pretty obvious. But I'll be discussing the behind the scenes of this podcast on the Patreon, patreon.com/daveneal. It's the first day of the new month. Happy June to everybody. And because of that, we always lose a couple Patreon members and we gain a couple. So if you haven't already and want to sign up, it's as little as $5 a month, and it really helps out the channel. Is a way that you can support us and join the membership community. All right, if you like my content, that's where it'll be. Link in the comment section for that, and we'll be back with more right after this.